Hi, everybody. It's Sophia Mona Lisa again from the Golden Race Center and the Roseville Mystery School. And I'm here today to do a video on perhaps a controversial topic depending on your belief system. So the name of this video is the second anniversary of an illegitimate inauguration. That anniversary was January 20th, 2023. Today's January 27th, so I'm not on the day of. That's because I've been out in Los Angeles with my son celebrating my 60th birthday that occurred earlier this month. And that was a gift from him to me. So once again, thank you to my generous son. And so I've, come home from LA and have been getting caught up on my work. And this is the last video that I had in mind to do that catches me up. More than that, I have been practicing letting go and not keeping myself so locked into specific timelines, deadlines for creating and producing my videos. And so this has just been another opportunity to practice that letting go. So I invite you to perhaps practice that in your own life as well. So let's look at this event. So as usual, I always start with looking at the chart that of the day that it happened. So that would be January 20th, 2021. And then I go and I look at what's in the sky on the anniversary date. So I am aware, you're probably aware too, that a lot of people are discussing the fact that, that they believe that we are in a time where we are witnessing the battle between good and evil. And of course, this battle was a major theme in the Star Wars series, particularly expressed through the character Anakin Skywalker, who then becomes Darth Vader. And I find it fascinating that even the light of their lightsabers changes color. Anakin's kind of beams that blue light, and Darth Vader's is beaming that red light. So I would choose different words. It's the same thing. It's just different language. So I would describe it as a battle between light and dark. You could describe it as a battle between higher frequencies and lower frequencies. So there's different ways that you could describe this battle, but clearly, I think a lot of people these days are aware that something bigger than what we might see in our day-to-day life, in our own families, our own communities, is definitely going on. So with that theme in mind, that's how I am going to look at the chart of what was going on in the sky January 20th, 2021. First, I'm going to look at frequencies that can be interpreted through the lens of dark, shadow, fear, and then I will look at frequencies that I am interpreting through the lens of light and love, divine love. And so, where I'm going to start is right here with this aspect. So what we see is that Venus is standing across the sky. Let me put on my glasses so I can see the chart. Venus is standing across the sky. Venus in Capricorn is standing across the sky from the Celtic goddess Epona in Cancer. And both of them are making aspects to Lucifer, which is separation consciousness, in Virgo. You could also even look at this in terms of, the expression of the cabal, the satanic forces. And that's in Virgo in the 5th house. So let me just start there. If you choose to translate this placement of Lucifer in the 5th house through the lens, the polarity of the dark, well, what I would say is, regarding the January 20th, 2021 event, definitively this indicates, from my perception, the way I read energies, indicates that the satanic forces, cabal, was using ritual, creating ritual. 5th house is all about creation. Virgo is about ritual. Specifically, in terms of the higher frequency, it's ritual around sacred service, ritual and ceremonies around sacred service to the sacred feminine. And so we see this trine here, up here to Venus, who represents the sacred feminine, the feminine above and the feminine within, in Capricorn. And what's really important to be aware of is that these forces know about these frequencies, and so they try to harness and engage them to support and manifest their nefarious intentions. Just, so you're talking like, let's say, black witch versus white witch, right? A white witch would use the forces, the energies, the frequencies to support a more loving, more positive manifestation. So definitely we see here that the satanic forces are creating are using ritual to create something, and that they're invoking the feminine energies to do it. What you've got to know about the satanic forces is that they invert everything. And so, for instance, one of the most ancient symbols of the sacred feminine is the pentagram. And that's because when Venus makes its 8-year journey, dance around the sun, it is creating what's called a pentagram in the sky that then looks like a rose. So the pentagram and the rose are ancient symbols of the sacred feminine, and the satanic forces use that pentagram in an inverted way in their rituals. So what's interesting here, with Venus standing across the sky, Epona, and I've started working with this Celtic goddess Epona this year, is that that wisdom has to do with the consciousness of predator and prey. And of course, from my understanding of the satanic forces that are in charge of the cabal, they definitely use this predator-prey consciousness in a negative way to instill fear and to manipulate humanity through that fear. So we see that that's going on here. So I've got a couple of slides here that I want to show you. This is where we see, this is actually an image of a satanic ritual where they are in fact using the pentagram to invoke frequencies, energies that they want to use to create and manifest their nefarious intentions. And so we saw that with the trine between Lucifer in Virgo and Venus in Capricorn, how they are pulling on those energies. And I spoke to that predator prey consciousness. And so I thought I had another slide here. It might be the next one down. We see that consciousness here, where if you think about, if you've seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy, when Gollum leads Frodo into this cave of this spider, I think its name is Shelob, telling Frodo that it's a shortcut, but knowing that the spider would want to feed on Frodo. And so here we see how he gets caught in that web, and how she has wrapped him in her spider silks, and he appears to be dead. This is the consciousness. This was the intention of what was being created at the time of this illegitimate inauguration, through this predator-prey consciousness, through this ceremony, to create this consciousness, is to basically, capture and paralyze the American public, the citizens of our nation, so that they could continue to manipulate and have their way in terms of the power structure that they were trying to, through a psyop, indicate that they had taken control of. So that's that first aspect there in the sky. The other aspect that we see in the sky on that day that I could look at in a more low vibration perspective is that we've got Mars, the sacred masculine, conjunct within minutes Uranus here at 6 degrees of Taurus. So like really that's the embodiment of in the light, that would be the sacred masculine liberating through embodiment. But on the other side, from the satanic forces, we would say that patriarchy is trying to bind, is trying to capture, is trying to imprison, enslave. Okay, that's the negative view of that, by creating that fear, because it's really easy to embody fear. And even if it's just a manifestation of fear as anger, okay? And so we see that that's in the 12th house, which is all about that which binds you. So again, this is all a part of the intention of this ceremony that they created when they, through this, and the ceremony, of course, is the illegitimate inauguration. And so it's making a square up here to Jupiter in Aquarius at 7 degrees. And so it's really trying to expand that fear to be able to enslave and capture the American people. So I've always used that analogy of taking the match and turning it into a bonfire in terms of amplifying the effect of what it is that they're trying to do. And remember, an astrological square, which is 90 degrees, can lead to breakthroughs in consciousness or breakdowns in consciousness. And so all of this was an intention to use this predator-prey consciousness to break down the American people through fear, to rather than liberate them, to enslave them, to shackle them. So these are the negative frequencies, and I think that kind of goes back to this this image as well, this idea of you know, binding and shackling through this image here. So those are the negative energies that I was looking at in terms of, okay, what is it that they were doing through this illegitimate inauguration as ceremony, as ritual on the day? Okay, so then why would they be doing that? Because they're looking at these frequencies the same way I'm looking at these frequencies. And so they're aware of the frequencies of light that they're trying to interfere with through this dark ceremony, through capturing the American people and creating this breakdown in consciousness through fear, to enslave them through this predator-prey consciousness that patriarchy is just all about. So let's look at these light frequencies. Okay, so what's really exciting here, and remember, they're aware of this, is you know, you've got Pluto here coming close to these last degrees of Capricorn. And as it's approaching these last degrees of Capricorn, what they know is coming, what they know is coming is the demise of these dynastic bloodlines that make up this satanic cabal. They know that. Whenever the sun comes to 0 degrees Aquarius, and so isn't it interesting that the inauguration is always on the day when the sun moves to 0 degrees of Aquarius? What it's doing is it's fueling future timelines. And so they're trying to manipulate the future timelines because they see that the breakdown, the collapse of these dynastic bloodlines is imminent. Now I'll just kind of jump ahead of myself, but you know, this is the day, January 20th, 21, when it's at 24 degrees, almost 25 degrees here. 2 years since then, look at where Pluto is. And I'm going to show that to you on another slide later on. 28 degrees this year. So, you know, 28, 29, you're getting to where that the collapse of those dynastic bloodlines is happening. They saw it coming. They knew it was coming, and they were trying to interfere and mitigate by using this 0 degrees of Aquarius to create these future timelines to their benefit. Okay, but let's look at this from the perspective of the light. So we've got Pluto and the sun here, and they're making a trine to the goddess Sedna in Taurus, and they're making a square to Magdalene, the embodiment of Sophia consciousness in Libra. Okay, then what do we have here? Up here in Aquarius, we've got Isis, Mercury, and Osiris, the cosmic Sophia, the cosmic messenger, and the cosmic Christ, making a trine to the North Node in Gemini. This is the evolutionary path of humanity, what humanity is evolving towards. Closely conjunct Sarah. Sarah is the daughter of Yeshua, and Magdalene, she carries with her that seed, that Christed seed within her DNA. And it's telling us here that humanity is evolving. Humanity has that seed of the Christ within the DNA and is evolving towards being Christed beings. So the cosmic Sophia and the cosmic Christ above are beginning to tell us in the sky through the cosmic shaman that this is where humanity is beginning to evolve towards, evolving towards the Christed beings. Now, remember, this is January 2021. In March of 2021, 2 months later, because I wasn't working with Isis and Osiris then, or Sarah then, so I wasn't aware of this aspect in the sky at the time. So 2 months later from this event, Yeshua and Magdalene revealed to me that the second coming of Christ is the emergence of Sophia through humanity. And I started teaching classes on it in 2021. And then in March 2022, I did a whole video on that. If you haven't seen it, I will put that below. So what we're seeing here is that they know, and a part of their agenda is to keep us in the dark, keep us ignorant, keep us in fear so that we don't know that we are Christed beings. They know that this evolutionary leap is coming for humanity, right? Because look at this, in Aquarius, that is showing an evolutionary leap in consciousness. And the cosmic messenger, Mercury, is letting humanity know so that even on a subtle level, those that are ready to receive the message are receiving it, as I did 2 months later. Okay, so they know this. They can see this in the sky the same way I can see this in the sky. So this is one of the fundamental reasons, not only because they're approaching that time when they know as Pluto moves across these last degrees of Capricorn, that these dynastic bloodlines are collapsing. So they're trying to mitigate that, but they also know that humanity is having this huge leap in evolution towards becoming Christed beings because we carry those Christos Sophia codes within our DNA. That's what Sarah brought onto the planet through the sacred union of Yeshua and Magdalene. So this is also what they're trying to mitigate. This is why they're trying to keep us enslaved and in fear so that we don't figure out how powerful we are. Okay. And so notice here that all of this is happening within the first house, who you know yourself to be, and your resources. The greatest intangible resource that humanity has available to it is that we carry that Christo Sophia codes in our DNA. And now, if you've been working with, been following my Galactic New Earth project, we're bringing those dormant strands of DNA that carry these codes back online that they intentionally cut us off from. Okay, the good thing is they could do it within the physical body. They couldn't do it within our divine template. All right, but we see here with the goddess Sedna and her trine up here to Pluto and Sun, she's performing for us this embodiment of alchemizing us, taking the wounds that the patriarchy has created by keeping us shut down to our divine gifts, specifically the fact that we hold those Christos Sophia codes within our DNA that they've separated us from. And she is transforming, she's transmuting, she's alchemizing those so that we can be able to thrive when we actually bring those codes online. So what she's helping us do is getting out of this survival space in these old third density polarity, light and dark, bad and good, or evil and good, fear and love, getting us out of that survival mode, right off that the wheel of the rat race where you're trying just to survive, trying to just keep your head above water, because she knows that we're getting ready to have this huge evolutionary leap in our consciousness as these DNA strands are coming back online. We are having the full activation of our light body. We are becoming the new Jerusalem. And so at that point, we are vibrating at a much higher frequency, which is the frequency of the new earth that everybody talks about. So this is a huge role that the goddess Sedna is facilitating for us as she is transmuting us, alchemizing us, so that we can fully embody that Sophia consciousness. Because remember what I found out 2 months after this event, that the second coming of Christ is actually the emergence of Sophia through each and every one of us. And so we've got to be able to embody her consciousness within us. And you see here, because Sedna is in Taurus, Taurus is the sign of embodiment. And because this is in the first house, who are we coming to know ourselves? We are coming to know ourselves as the embodiment of Sophia, which is that second coming of Christ process. Okay, so that's why, these are the reasons why they had to have that illegitimate inauguration, to try to mitigate what they were seeing coming down the pike for them that they were not happy about, and what they were seeing coming down the pike for us, which they really have been trying to keep us under control and ignorant of for thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of years. Some people think, oh, this just happened with, the administration of number 45 and what happened with that. Some of them think, oh, it just started happening with the 9/11 event. Some people think, oh, it started with the assassination of JFK. No, this stuff by these satanic lords have been going on for thousands and thousands of years, but we have evolved as a humanity to wake up to this and take back our power from them. Okay, this is my video on the second coming of Christ as the emergence of Sophia through humanity that I produced in March 2022, a year after this was revealed to me by Yeshua and Magdalene. And I will put the link to this video in the description if you haven't seen this video yet. Okay. So now let's jump forward 2 years and let's see what's going on in the sky this January 20th, 2023, the second anniversary of this illegitimate inauguration. So I tried to make these different colors so that you could follow them. So we've got this kind of rosy colored one where we've got the North Node in Taurus, making this square to Lucifer, separation consciousness, and Aquarius. And that's making a trine to Osiris, the cosmic Christ, down here in Libra. So notice that the cosmic Christ is in the 12th house. Remember, that's where they shackled us. They made every attempt to shackle us, to enslave us through that fear, through that prey and predator and prey consciousness that they were invoking through that ritual that was the illegitimate inauguration ceremony. So what we see here, that at this time on January 20th, the North Node, where humanity is evolving towards, the cosmic Christ is liberating us from that fear, that enslavement, from that separation consciousness. And because the cosmic Christ is here in the 12th house, taking us out of those chains, mitigating that separation consciousness to bring us back into unity consciousness so that we can embody that unity consciousness and move away from the frequencies of fear and all of its manifestations. Okay, then we've got here, and I'm going to go over this a little bit more. Then we've got Uranus here making a trine to Isis, the cosmic SOFIA. She's in the 11th house. She's in that sign of Virgo, that Virgo of being in sacred service to the sacred feminine. The cosmic SOFIA is coming in and saying, okay, boom, like lightning, like a lightning strike, boom. I am liberating the consciousness of humanity so that humanity can embody, fully embody this Christo Sophia consciousness, the Christo Christa that we are. And then we've got this interesting opposition. Remember, I mentioned it before. Now Pluto has moved away from 25 degrees to 28 degrees of Capricorn. And of course, it's going to be very closely conjunct that 0 degrees of Aquarius for the sun, because that's why this always happens on January 20th in terms of the inauguration. And it's standing across from Epona, the Celtic goddess, and Lilith, the goddess of sovereignty. And so this year, what this second anniversary is doing is it's indicating, okay, the collapse of these dynastic bloodlines is imminent. It's happening this year. Start visioning the future of humanity, the future of your nation, the future of this earth as a global community that you want to see humanity shift into. And with Epona at 29 degrees here, she's saying, okay, all of that fear mongering that has been going on through that predator prey consciousness is now being let go of. We're being let go of that. We're coming into balance here with that predator prey consciousness so that we can be more in equal partnership with each other. And the goddess Lilith here in the heart space of the compassionate heart space is saying, yes, this is where that predator prey consciousness, the lion heart wisdom is coming into balance here in this heart space. Notice that Pluto and the sun are in the 4th solar house. Epona and Lilith are in the 10th solar house. So what this means is that this is the work that's being done over this year as a result of this anniversary date, and that humanity is being grounded, rooted into this new reality. Okay, and notice that we've got, again, this trine over here to the solar Sedna that is supporting this alchemization within our bodies to be able to hold these higher frequencies. So let's see what I've got here. All right. What I want to remind you of is this video that I did in December on the final activation of the Pluto return for the United States. This link is described in the description box below. The reason why I'm reminding you of this video, whether you've seen it or not, is in this video, as I'm talking about the final activation of Pluto that happened at 27 degrees, I talk about how over the course of this 2023 year, Pluto is moving over those final degrees, 28, 29, and going into that 0 degree point of Aquarius. And I said that we're going to start seeing some changes as Pluto moves into Aquarius. We're going to start seeing the beginning of that, because once Pluto goes into Aquarius and stays in Aquarius, which is at the end of 2024, the collapse of those dynastic bloodlines will be complete, right? Remember Pluto energy. It burns what doesn't serve your expansion to the ground, but then, like the phoenix, it rises from the ashes. And so burning these dynastic bloodlines to the ground, and then when Pluto goes into 0 degrees Aquarius, allowing humanity, and especially the West, and most particularly the American citizens, to rise like a phoenix from being released from the yoke of those dynastic bloodlines. So I'm encouraging you to go back and look at this video, because in that video, I give you the timelines over 2023 and 2024 when Pluto is moving across those final degrees into Aquarius, coming back into Capricorn and back into Aquarius. And so, you know, this will all be done by the time, you know, the end of 2024, the end of 2025 comes around. The other video but we're going to be seeing the collapse of these dynastic bloodlines now, slowly but surely, because Pluto is a slow moving planet. We're going to start seeing it over 2023. I mean, look at this whole document issue that's come around now regarding this illegitimate administration and who they've got in the leadership position of the illegitimate administration. This is my take. I could be wrong, but my intuitive take is that the whole document situation around number 45, and now this document situation around, let's call him negative 45, is a white hat operation. And it's a PSYOP operation. Don't get me wrong. It's a PSYOP, okay? Because they knew when they created this whole operation around the documents of number 45 that the black hats, whomever you consider them to be, would start vilifying number 45, be all up in arms, you know, this is a horrific thing. How dare he? Who does he think he is? Kind of a thing. But they knew by triggering that mentality and that reaction, that when it came time around for them to recreate, you know, the next step of the operation, the PSYOP, bringing up the documents around negative 45 and all of that, the seed of that reaction is there. It's a manipulation. Don't get me wrong. That's what a PSYOP does. That the same kind of response would happen around the documents with negative 45, because they'd already seeded that very negative response when they brought up the documents around 45. They had to do it that way. Otherwise, if they didn't, they couldn't use the document situation as a part of the collapsing of this dynastic bloodlines and the illegitimate administration. So we're already starting to see that unfold. And it's really important, whether it's the Satanic Cabal or the White House. Remember, this is a battlefield. PSYOPs are a part of war, right? These are the tactics on the battlefield. It's important for you in terms of your sovereignty not to allow yourself to get tied into those maneuvers, to keep your vision, your frequency up here so that you can see, oh, this is what's going on, and not allow yourself to be mentally manipulated or emotionally manipulated by what you're seeing on the battlefield. Okay. This is another video that I did in November last year. Again, the link will be in the box below that I'm reminding you to go back to, because in that video, I talk about 3 concurrent events. One of the concurrent events was the eclipse that happened on that day, which was, it was the fifth eclipse on this Taurus-Scorpio axis. And so this Taurus-Scorpio axis is a part of what's helping to bring everything that's been hidden into the light. Okay. And I said, if we didn't see something, if it didn't go the way we anticipated it to go at that time, that by the next eclipse, which is the sister eclipse to that one on November 8th was at 16 Taurus, which is at one side of the axis. The one on May 5th, 15 degrees Scorpio, so right across the sky within a degree. May 5th, which is the 6th eclipse on this Taurus Scorpio axis, that we might see something within that window or by that timeline. The other thing that I mentioned in there was that on that day, pardon me, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on a second. Oh, well, that on that day, we were having an inferior superior conjunction of the first synodic cycle of the new Earth element year for Mercury. And I said that that it was possible that we might see something by the end of January, which is, by the way, January 30th, the last of the 4 Mercury events of this current Mercury synodic cycle, or possibly even as early as January 7th, when we had the inferior conjunction of the Mercury and Sun. So that information is in this video. And isn't it interesting that after the inferior conjunction of Mercury and the Sun on the 7th, all of a sudden this document issue around the illegitimate administration and -45 has come out, been communicated, right? Cosmic messenger Mercury has been shared. So this is another video that you can go back to and look at in terms of possible windows of time when things are happening. Now, the 7th and final eclipse on this Taurus Scorpio axis is going to be in October. So what did I say? This 2023 is a slow year of starting to see the collapse of these dynastic bloodlines, and as a result, the collapse of the illegal administration. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the sky that is supporting that happening over this year. What's really exciting is that also this year we're beginning the eclipses on the Aries Libra axis. The first one will be in April, and the second one will be in October, 2 weeks before that final Taurus Scorpio eclipse. Aries Libra axis is all about conscious equal partnership. And those eclipses, and why are eclipses important? Because they help humanity get back on track in terms of our evolutionary expansion. You know, when you get off track, you got to get back on track, right? Like the GPS used to say, return to the root, return to the root. That's what these eclipses do. They're telling humanity, return to the root of our evolutionary expansion. And these Aries Libra eclipses that are starting to come up beginning in April are on that path of conscious equal partnership. And so these eclipses, there's 6 of them in that series, are going to take us through 2025, March of 2025. So everything that I've been telling you through these videos, the midterm election, the activations of the Pluto return, all of this is being supported even with the eclipses that are being activated. Okay. Now, let's look again at these aspects in the sky on January 20th, 2023. And what we see here, unity consciousness. What did I say about this one here? The rose-colored one, that the cosmic Christ in Libra, which is right, the balance, bringing us back into balance in our consciousness so that we can come out of separation consciousness with Lucifer and into unity consciousness, is exactly where humanity is being evolved at this second anniversary of this illegitimate inauguration. They knew this stuff was coming. This is why they've been trying to stop it, okay? So, unity consciousness. This is a big, big deal. All right. The next piece, that was the rose-colored one. The next piece, which I think is the pink one, yep. This is all about that second coming of Christ and the emergence of SOFIA through humanity and being able to fully embody this SOFIA consciousness. It's liberating us, and it's going to be coming, you know, like a strike of lightning, boom. And so one day you may all of a sudden realize, wow, this is what I'm experiencing. That's what that lightning strike is all about. So this is how humanity's being liberated, not only in terms of the collective consciousness with this solar 11th house, but individually, person by person. It's happening through us. Each one of us are being liberated. Okay, so this is that second coming of Christ as the emergence of humanity. It's all a part of my Galactic New Earth project. If you're not familiar with my Galactic New Earth project, I invite you to go to my website, the goldenraycenter.com. I have a tab called the Galactic New Earth Project. There's several pages that inform you about the project. It's free to participate in this project. If you want to participate, you have to subscribe to my newsletter. There will be a little pop-up box that comes when you go to my website here for you to subscribe to my newsletter, because it's through my newsletter that I keep everybody informed when the next piece of the project is unfolding and what the links are for you to join us virtually on Zoom to participate in those ceremonies. So I really encourage you to, if you haven't yet, to start actively participating in this project. This project was initiated last January 2022, and it's never too late, because remember, there's no such thing as time. Time is a manifestation of this third density. But in reality, everything is happening in the eternal now, so you can participate and you haven't missed the boat. You're not too late. You don't have to catch up, and you can get your light code activation readings and your DNA activation readings at any time. You don't have to do the ceremonies in order that have already been done and recorded and can be found on my YouTube channel, The Rosewheel Mystery, under the playlist Galactic New Earth Project. So there's a lot going on here to help you in your own evolutionary expansion, that which people call the ascension. It's for real, and it's happening, and it's the signs of this have been in the sky, and been trying to get the word out on this. Okay. All right. So then let's look at this last one, this last aspect where we've got Pluto and the Sun conjunct across from Epona and Goddess Lilith, and being supported by the alchemy, the transmutation medicine of Sedna, that takes all of the wounds that the patriarchy has created within humanity, even if it's just something that you carry in your family lineage, okay? Because of what your ancestors, right? Your ancestral lineage, what your ancestors have experienced by the stock market crash, by World War I and World War II, by, you know, the assassination of the Tsar in Russia. All of these events are tied in. So let's look at that. Okay. This is the lion heart wisdom. When we're out of this predator-prey consciousness and it's been brought into balance, the manifestation of that is the lion heart wisdom. And what is that? It's the courage in your heart. Let me read this to you. It was written by Kim McElroy, who created these paintings for the horse wisdom cards that I do. And, you know, I'm going to just pause here for a minute so I can show those to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share so you can get the big screen here and take a look at these cards. The Way of the Horse, Equine Archetypes for Self-Discovery. All of the information about each of these cards was written by Linda Koenoff. She's authored some really great books. One of the first books of hers that I read was The Tao of Equus. I really encourage people that have any kind of resonance with this material to read that book. Kim McElroy, she's the one that did all of the paintings for each of the cards. And one of the archetypes, and this is her painting. Let me go back to the share screen. One of these archetypes is the Lionheart archetype. And this is the painting that Kim made for that card. And now let me read this to you. Look for my courage in your heart when you are weary of strife. And let me tell you, humanity and Americans in particular are weary of strife because of what they've been through the predator-prey consciousness that the satanic forces hold, that they've been manipulating humanity with. I will give you my strength and the wisdom of my perception, and you will be able to access new power and insight. A courageous heart does not seek control, right? When that predator-prey consciousness is in effect, it's all about control, manipulation, subjugation. But when it's in balance and you come into that lion heart wisdom, we are no longer seeking control. It conserves its power, only rising to challenges worthy of its energy. goes back to what I said about having this higher frequency so you're not being triggered, manipulated mentally and emotionally by these skirmishes that are happening, out in the external landscape as a part of this battle for, between light and dark, good and evil. A courageous heart does not need to defend. It resonates to truth, finding strength in self-confidence. And that so beautifully speaks to the goddess Lilith energy that's standing in the sky next to Epona in this aspect. A courageous heart seeks peace rather than pride, honors sensitivity while seeking protection, and shall attain wisdom from all adversity. So this is a huge year around the second anniversary of this illegitimate inauguration and what's been triggered in the sky at this anniversary regarding the collapse of these dynastic bloodlines and therefore the collapse of the illegitimate administration, and in terms of humanity being able to embody this SOFIA consciousness and come into unity consciousness and out of separation consciousness and activate the SOFIA Christ codes that we have in our DNA. This is huge. Light, light, light. Activating your full on light body is the new Jerusalem. You become the new Jerusalem, and that is happening right now, and the aspects in the sky show us that. If you haven't seen my Seeding the New Jerusalem video, I encourage you to watch that as well. Okay, now having said all of that around the event, what I would like to do is I would like to invite you to enhance your body's light communication so that you can get the most expansion over the course of this, this year and next year in terms of what's going on with humanity's evolution. There's this beautiful scripture in the book of Job that says, the light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light. From my perception, this scripture that says, when thine eye is single, is talking about the third eye that is related to the pineal gland, which is where we can see through our light body. And so I'm inviting you to experience this state-of-the-art light therapy technology. I would love to have a discussion with you about how this technology can strengthen your heart-mind resonance, right? That's where that lion heart wisdom is, and activate your pineal gland so that you can start experiencing expanded states of consciousness. And so this light therapy technology is all a part of the stem cell revolution that has been created by the founder of this therapy, David Schmidt, the inventor of this therapy, David Schmidt, and the founder of the company through which you can get this light therapy. This is a message that I received from Yeshua and Magdalene just a couple of days ago. And I love this because it speaks to all of what I've shared around this event of the illegitimate inauguration. And it speaks to also this light therapy technology that incorporates this stem cell revolution. Yeshua and Magdalene said to me, know that every cell in your body is emanating divine light. Every cell, right? Because every cell has our DNA in it. That DNA is seeded with those SOFIA Christ codes. every cell in your body is emanating divine light. Know that every cell in your body is connected to our consciousness, meaning Yeshua and Magdalene's consciousness, because they are Christed beings. They are embodiments of the Sophia Christ consciousness. The light, which they told me is Christ, and the consciousness, which they told me is Sophia, do everything. This was a whole paradigm shift for me to understand Christ and Sophia as light and consciousness, because I frequently have always related to them and frequently refer to them as divine will and divine wisdom. So this is like a whole new teaching, a whole new piece of wisdom and clarity and understanding that came through, as this is just an excerpt of that whole message. And so our Christed selves create our Christed light bodies, which is the New Jerusalem. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. So I invite you to join this stem cell revolution that David Schmidt has invented. And you can find out more about that at my website here, lifewave.com, Sophia Mona Lisa, Sophia with an F. And let me just say, I'm going to read this whole passage from Job because it speaks again to everything that I've been talking about. I'll repeat that first piece. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light. But when thine eye is evil, thy body also is full of darkness. That's speaking to those satanic dynastic bloodlines. Take heed, therefore, that the light which is in thee be not darkness. If thy whole body, therefore, be full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light. And so this light therapy technology that is available to us now is helping us to manifest really the message within this scripture. And as we become full-on activated light bodies, as we become the New Jerusalem, we are all individually evolving humanity into that global community, the global community that we must be before we can step into the galactic community. So I am very grateful for having been introduced to this light therapy technology. If anybody would like to talk to me about this, like to hear about my own benefits regarding this, you're welcome to email me to do that and schedule a call with me to do that. This is my email address, sophiamonalisa79@gmail. Remember, Sophia with an F. This video that I'm doing here can be found on my world events playlist on my YouTube channel, the Roseville Mystery School. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so that this video will get out to more and more people. And I also invite you to click on the bell so that you can be notified of anytime I put a video out. I have about 10 different playlists, so I'm speaking to different topics all the time. And ringing the bell will let you know when a new video comes out. So I just want to say thank you for spending this time with me. It means a lot to me. I hope that you've gotten a clearer understanding around the big picture of, what this is all about, and in terms of what's been going on with this illegal administration and the dark forces, the dynastic satanic bloodlines that are controlling, puppeting those that illegal administration, or illegitimate, I should say, not illegal. Pardon me. That's my autism. Sometimes I say the wrong word. I hear illegitimate in my head, illegal came out. No, it's illegitimate, the illegitimate administration. So I hope this brought some hope to you around what we can look forward to see more of over the course of this year. Things are getting better and better for humanity and for Americans specifically in particular. Thank you, and I will see you at my the next video. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.